Hello everyone, welcome you all to Believers IAS Academy, and in this today's topic of the day, we will be discussing about the new income tax bill which was placed in the parliament just a few months back. And in this particular video, we will try and understand what the changes that the new bill is trying to bring, and as in how important or how useful it is for the common people. And going forward, we will also try and understand its advantages if it actually is going to help the people or the common citizen or not. So even before we get into those areas, it is important to know why the bill actually got introduced even in the first place. So now the question is the new bill trying to change any tax mod, or the new bill intends to change any tax slabs, or is it trying to change any policy rates? The answer is no, because this particular amendment bill is primarily trying to overlift, or let's say beautify, the Income Tax Act in simple terms, or I can say that the outdated Income Tax Act, which is already 60 years old, the new bill tries to modify it, update it. By how? By what? By doing few changes in the text and the structure of the bill. For what? To ultimately make sure it becomes easy for a common man to understand. Okay, so let's see what are the changes that the new bill is trying to bring. So the Income Tax Bill 2025, it talks about three important principles that it is trying to change. One is it is trying to simplify the text and structure. So lot of rewritten, or let's say few topics which were there in the bill multiple times, and also it is trying to reduce the entire structure, and it is also kind of trying to reduce the legal jargon. It is trying to bring more simplified terminologies for the previously had terms which was very difficult for a common man to understand. And it primarily states that no major tax policy changes is going to be expected in this new bill, which means any sort of exemptions, or let's say deductions, especially in the tax slabs, or during the computation of taxing, no such changes or major changes you can see in the bill. All that it ensures is to make sure it becomes simple and common for the common man. And this major aspect of the bill to not change any tax policy is to ensure there is a continuity, and to also make sure the confusion doesn't stay with the people, because already most of the income tax payers are accustomed for all the previous terminologies, and now suddenly you bring more changes with the tax slabs, you change the tax slabs altogether. So now it is going to create a sort of a confusion for the people. So it is not trying to majorly change the tax. Now, speaking of which, the government is also simultaneously trying to scrap off the 12% slab of the GST. So now it might be let's say a kind of a doubt for most of the aspirants. Then what is this? If this is not part of the income tax bill, then what is this? I'm telling you, it is very important to know this difference. This is the part of the GST rationalization, and it mostly talks about the scrapping down of the 12% slab of the GST bill, of the GST, right? And this per se specifically talks about the income tax. Two things are different. Income tax is the direct tax that we pay to the government, and GST is the indirect tax. Okay, so that distinction is very important to know. So don't confuse it, don't confuse the GST with here. Anyway, what is the third change, or what is the new bill that is trying to bring the change? This we have discussed. It doesn't try to change any rates in the old bill. So now, how was the simplification done? So what exactly the bill tries to bring, or what are the means in which the bill has tried to achieve the goal? First thing is, it has tried cleaning up the entire language. some of the most intricate, difficult terminologies for a common man to understand. For example, simple instance, financial year, right? Assessment year. This simply means tax year. So now it becomes easy for a common man to even understand. Getting the point? Unless you do not even know what tax year is. So this is also the government's push for to make sure that more number of people develop this habit of paying tax, right? And next point, removing reputation. So government what has the new bill tries to remove all the previous sections, the old sections which were mostly repeated, and now what they have done is they have clubbed many sections into categorically into few sections and created few chapters. So essentially they have removed 283 sections and almost 24 chapters, so that's huge. Next thing, they've consolidated the tax compliance requirements. So earlier, the tax, related terminologies or concepts, for example, your TDS, deductions, right? All these things were scattered. It was completely not organizedly, presented in the old tax act. So now this particular bill tries to ensure that these important data are clearly tabulated for the easy access. Okay. Then most importantly, it has added a definition of income. It has brought in the new definition for digital income. We call it the virtual digital assets, very important. So it basically talks about the cryptocurrency and NFTs, because even in today's world, even cryptocurrency and NFTs are classified as capital assets, right? So these are the few changes that the new bill is trying to bring. And now let's see, why is this important for a commoner, or let's say how is it important for us? One is that it brings more clarity in the understanding, or in order to know what the bill is all about, so that ordinary taxpayers it becomes easier for them to understand. Then it has increased the accuracy of the bill, so that it reduces the chances of misinterpretation or confusion. Then it brings in more efficiency, as in because we have categorized all these important sections of the bill, like your TDS, deductions, all of that under clearly defined tabulated columns. It becomes easy for computation, easy calculations, and easy filing of your income tax. So it brings in more efficiency. Then is the modernization. So I'm talking about the inclination of this move with the digital economy, one of the aspirational goals of the government, right? So ultimately the move, or let's say this particular bill is just like a facelift for a 60-year-old law to make it more fit for the modern India. Most important thing to understand is it does not bring any changes in the policies or the tax rates. Okay, so ultimately the bill reflects the intention of the government to move towards a taxpayer friendly, a transparent and an efficient tax administrative country or a system, right? So I hope it is clear in this particular video. So for more such informative content, please do subscribe to Believers IAS Academy's YouTube channel. And signing off, this is Madan Gopal. Thank you.